Sake of being timely, I think I will go ahead and get started. Um, thank you all for coming today. My name is Jacob Knupp, and I'm the membership coordinator for RPEC. So I'm one of the 5 staff members at the council office. So we're going to do kind of a general overview of RPEC structure, kind of what is the purpose of RPEC, what is it that RPEC does, and the benefits of membership. And so first of all, purpose of RPEC is to unite retired public employees for their mutual benefit and welfare. RPEC was formed in 1971 as an organization to promote the interests of retired state, county, city, and local government employees. And this is available on our About RPEC page on our website as well. So what is it that RPEC does? So at the core of why RPEC exists in the first place is our legislative advocacy. And what ties into that is member mobilization. That's talking about kind of uniting members together to act on certain topics or legislation, put things into motion and be organized. RPEC also provides a variety of different training and resources to address member needs. RPEC timely distributes information that is important and relevant to our members and to public sector retirees as a whole. And RPEC creates media content that also ties into our work and the other sort of services and benefits that we provide. So just to dive into legislative advocacy a little bit, the goal of our advocacy is to promote RPEC's legislative priorities by taking coordinated action. And so RPEC's legislative priorities are set every biennium when we host our biennial convention. And so at this convention, members vote on what priorities are relevant to our work and what we should focus on for the next 2 years after that convention. So this year is a convention year. So here in September, we'll have convention, which will, adjust or introduce priorities for RPEC to focus on for the next 2 years. Some of the ways that we do advocacy is through the council office. And so at the council office, we develop and implement strategy. We have meetings that we also coordinate with members to meet with key legislators, other allied groups that, have shared priorities with us, lobbyists, other labor leaders from, unions around the state, and state agency leaders as well. So we're really closely intertwined with different state agencies as far as like having people that we know well from there that we can contact and reach out to for help or to discuss things that maybe they have some insider opinion on, things like that. Other ways we do council advocacy is we organize and lead coalitions. So coalitions meaning we've put together essentially a group, a committee that works in tandem to accomplish specific goals around specific issues. So for example, we have like a Medicare coalition where our executive director, Lori Widener, is part of this coalition with leaders from other retiree groups regarding, Medicare issues. And so there's a lot of overlap as far as what is important in addressing Medicare from these different organizations. And so that was actually a coalition that was formed by RPEC, and it actually received a prestigious award at a union convention in the last year. So that's something that we've piloted and been leaders on, and it has been very successful. Something else that we do is we develop official communications, regarding advocacy. We notify members of opportunities to get involved or things they should be concerned about and should want to get involved in. We have power in numbers, and so we try to do, calls to action or, kind of like a action alert type stuff regarding legislation and advocacy and, testifying, reaching out to legislators. We also organize what we call Legislative Day. So once a year in
That's
January.
weird, huh? Thank you.
Once a year in January, we coordinate and host something called Legislative Day. And so what that entails is we work with our chapters to get members signed up to attend this event. And what it is that we work with legislators or their legislative staff to coordinate meetings between them and our members from their legislative districts. And so we coordinate, I think this year we had about 70 meetings that we had coordinated for, I believe we had about 140 members that attended. And so we facilitate that. We do all of the communications for it. We work with the chapters to organize for it. And it is something that is a key aspect of what RPEC does. You know, our goal in advocating for public sector retirees, it expects that we can get our members involved in advocacy and in working with their legislators. And so this event is significant to the core of our purpose. We lead member mobilization. So as I kind of mentioned earlier, we notify members of things that should be on their radar, important things. We give members a bit of notice in advance about any sort of events or opportunities in the future that will be a chance for them to get involved with topics that are important to them, whether that be testimony or signing in with a proposition on a bill, which often is able to be done online. That's the standard nowadays. And so it makes a huge difference being able to just contribute by putting yourself down as I support this. And there's not really the expectation that you have to do anything more than that if that is what you want to do. And so we develop, calls to action, messaging. We put together materials to help with that. Like we've written kind of templates for like testimony, for example. So we try to arm members with all the resources that they need to adequately do these activities. Also, we write resolutions for external organizations. So similar to like what we have at our convention, where members can bring forward or chapters can bring forward resolutions, things to change in like our constitution or in our policies and procedures or things like that. They can bring those forward to be reviewed, to be voted on to determine if that change is going to be made or not. We similarly can do that at other organizations that we're affiliated with that have conventions, because we have people that are part of RPEC that are representing delegates of RPEC at other organizations' conventions. So we proposed a couple of resolutions at the Washington State Labor Council convention last week regarding protecting and expanding Social Security. And those resolutions were unanimously voted for approval to be taken in as priorities for the Labor Council. And so it's great to have opportunities to align our purpose with the purpose of organized active employees as well, considering retirement benefits are going to apply to everybody at some point or another. We also, to kind of bolster the image of what RPEC is capable of and to give credit where it's due, we promote the successes that we have legislatively, thanking our members, our partners, our staff members that are involved, just to continue to, pump the gas and keep things elevated and passionate as is required when doing advocacy. So with member mobilization, we do invitations when meetings are coming up that members can attend to participate in, share testimony, be a part of a discussion. And so we have a few different committees in the legislature that we attend. And so one of which is like the Select Committee on Pension Policy. That is the committee of the legislature that, kind of develops and recommends legislation that affects pension benefits for public employees in Washington. So that's just one example of where we've had really strong ties and been really involved in trying to, protect and expand pension benefits for our members. There are opportunities for you to sign in pro on key bills. You can submit emails, letters to your representatives or to the committees. and opportunities to testify as well. We've had many select committee on pension policy meetings where we had 100+ members attend, and there were so many testimonies provided. It was just rigorous, and you couldn't find enough time in a day to give all the members adequate time for them to testify. That's how great turnout is from members, and it really sends a message. The select committee on pension policy they're following our lead on things that we've called on them to do and bills that we've pushed to get passed. So we also mobilize members to attend meetings with their legislators. That even includes at the chapter level. For example, a lot of districts during the summertime will invite legislators from the legislative districts that their members belong to, and then have a social meeting where they invite all their members and have those legislators attending to speak with members and to present on what their position is on RPEC's priorities. Also, with agency meetings, we've had meetings with different state agencies to kind of be connected and work together on how to best serve our members and how to best serve public sector retirees. That includes kind of being coordinated to stay on track with what legislation the agency is trying to get passed and how that relates to our members. So a good example is we have a good close working relationship with a couple of folks from the Department of Retirement Systems, including the Retirement Readiness Director. And so he has been a great resource, and we're able to turn to him for a lot of different things, and he keeps us posted about bills that DRS is trying to pass that are significant to our members as well. So chapter advocacy. Chapters have coordinated their own kind of local advocacy efforts with their local legislators, whether that be city, county, or even representatives, senators, people like that. And so it's important, and at the core of the chapter's ability for advocacy to strengthen their relationships with their legislators. And so to do that, you have to be able to inform the legislators of what our issues are, what the context is, what information they need to be informed about the topics relating to our priorities. So therefore, the rationale is there for them to support our issues. And so chapters coordinate with the council office with this information so that we're always a coordinated effort, making sure that we're not double dipping, we're all on the same page, and we can build upon at the council level success and the chapter level success together. At the chapter level, chapters will promote member mobilizations. You may have some leaders in your chapter that reach out to you and inform you of mobilization opportunities and encourage you to participate however you can. And so at that time, information regarding these advocacy opportunities will be shared with members. The resources will be provided. Like I said earlier, we do scripting even for folks who don't really know where to start when testifying. And then also chapters lead grassroots organizing to accomplish goals. And so it's super important that chapters have organized advocacy in their local area with their local elected officials. Next, I'm going to talk about political action. And so political action is the process of organizing and providing endorsements to candidates who support RPEC's legislative priorities. And so just as a rule of thumb, the officials that we're even interested in the first place are those that are pro-retiree. That's kind of has to be the baseline for any legislator that we have hope of supporting our issues. And so our members look at volunteering with campaigns, especially regarding issues that are within our priorities. And so the way that the process works is that RPEC has a political action committee that makes endorsements to candidates, candidates that support RPEC's issues. And so the way that works is the committee votes on which people to endorse based on, doing a bunch of interviews and, looking at their history and what they've done for us in the past. And so trying to kind of build a comprehensive understanding of whether or not a candidate is somebody who is going to truthfully support us. And I'll go into details about the committee here in a minute, but so chapters can make independent endorsements in local races. All endorsements, so all contributions, financial contributions to legislative campaigns do have to go through the political action committee, but chapters can make a recommendation to the committee for these endorsements. Something else that RPEC does is providing training and resources. So we've developed a variety of different trainings over time to address member needs as they come up. So, for example, we'll be putting together
There's a guy.
a hybrid meeting webinar in the near future, which will be for the purpose of teaching members, especially the leaders of chapters that will be implementing like a Zoom format to a meeting, how to do so. And so the goal of that would be being able to have an in-person meeting, but also for folks that can't attend, having that virtual component so they can be on a video chat and still participate in the meeting. And so that's just one example of the types of trainings that we provide to our members. So as far as resources go, we connect members with resources through strong relationships that we have with our affiliates and, like state agencies, other unions. So we have access to a lot of information and a wealth of knowledge from, experienced individuals that have been doing this for a long time and just have priceless and valuable help to offer. We also develop materials to support member involvement and advocacy. So that's part of training and resources as far as how to address our core priorities regarding legislative advocacy and how to provide members with the resources to adequately participate in those activities. Another key aspect of RPEC is timely distribution of important information. So we have a handful of ways of regularly communicating to members that the content is heavy in, legislative updates or, things that are coming up that you want to be paying attention to as it affects your retirement or things that you want to fight for. And so one of our main distributions for information is the council quarterly newsletter. So we send that out, quarterly, 4 times a year, and all members receive this quarterly newsletter, and it has information about, our legislative work thus far in whatever given year it is, any other upcoming fights or, stepping stones, milestones that we're working to achieve, and contains a lot of the bulk of our, successes and any significant events that have happened prior to the newsletter's release. Next is the weekly news flash. So the weekly news flash is something that we send out every Friday via email to all members that we have an email address for. And so what that is it's a handful of articles that mostly are centered around RPEC's activities, updates from RPEC. Sometimes it is contents about upcoming events for RPEC. Like, for example, this webinar, we've been sending out invitations for that within our weekly news flash. And so that's something that you'll see come through regularly on Fridays if you provided an email address to us. You can also see our weekly news flashes and our quarterly newsletters on the RPEC website. And so it's something that you can always go back to look over or review. We also send out information through direct email to members or an email blast, like a big group email. And so you'll sometimes receive something kind of official looking that is like an urgent update or something that's timely and can't really wait to be shared in some other form of communication. And then also we have the executive director's monthly report, which is provided at the beginning of each month. Initially, it's sent out to chapter leaders, and then also is included in the newsletters that chapters themselves have produced and sent out. And so that's something else you can access on the website, but that has a really comprehensive summary and breakdown of the work that we're doing, the work coming up, and any significant events that we want our members to be aware of. RPEC also creates a variety of different media content. And so at the end of May, we launched our new website. And so we've had a website for a good number of years, but per member feedback, we developed a new website that better suits the needs of our members. And so one of the benefits of this new website is that it actually has member-only content. And so unless you're a member, you can't actually access the full content of the website, whereas our old website was not restrictive in that sense. And so this is exclusive information, exclusive content that only our members can access via our website. And I can kind of explain, the process of creating your website account for our website and then being able to log in and access those things. And so that's separate from just being signed up as being a member. It's something you have to go to our website, register an account, and then we approve your access, and then you can get into all the content on the site. And so also, there's a lot of different news articles that we share on the website. That includes RPEC news, anything that we've been doing or have done, or that's relevant from our work. Also, state level legislative news and federal level legislative news as well. We also have a new feature on the website that are the member forums. And so those are a work in progress. They're up and running, but as far as, we're going to be developing prompts and topics and things for kind of a starting point for chapters to have, kind of narrow discussion about things that are relevant specifically to them. So the forums will be an opportunity for members to, post questions or ideas and be able to have kind of back and forth communication on a medium where it's kind of logged and able to be returned to for folks to use as reference. Also on our website, we have a calendar that in detail outlines all the chapter meetings, all the committee meetings, the executive board meetings, or any significant events, legislative opportunities, pretty much a repository for all of the content that we have. And then also we have a video archive on there, which is where we have recorded webinars such as this one, other trainings that we've done, and just any general video content that is a resource for members to refer to. We also have a presence on social media. So we have a Facebook page and we post onto that pretty regularly. There isn't any content that gets posted on our Facebook that you wouldn't be able to access like on the website, for example. So if you're somebody who doesn't have a Facebook, no worries, you won't be missing out per se on content just because of that. We don't only just post, repeat content or, paraphrase content. We also share things that are a little more lighthearted and stuff that's not completely focused on our legislative advocacy. For example, we had a deer in the middle of downtown Olympia in our parking lot one day a couple weeks ago. And so, we shared that online for our members just to, kind of provide something kind of funny and not business oriented. So we tried to engage members on a variety of different levels. We also have our own YouTube channel, which is where you can see a lot of our video content as well. So if you have YouTube or you've used YouTube, that's another place you can find us and access our content. And finally, we have a new podcast that we started this year that there was just a 4th episode released for that. And so the goal of this podcast is to host, individuals that are significant in the, retirement advocacy landscape, including, leaders of other agencies or advocacy organizations or, organized labor. So, for example, we have a 3-part web series coming up that we will feature a gentleman named Tim Smolin. And so he's the director of the statewide health insurance benefits advisors. If you aren't aware what that is, the acronym is SHIBA, SHIBA. And so that is a organization that is funded by the legislature that runs off of volunteers to help provide, unbiased advice to subscribers of Medicare plans. And so we're going to be having Tim Smolin as a guest on our podcast, and he'll be speaking to, open enrollment and just great insider information for folks who want to be more aware of the process of Medicare, what's on the table, and, any upcoming changes. So, yeah, you can actually listen to our podcast on our website. You can also listen to it on any other podcast platform that you may have access to, whether that be Spotify or Apple. Okay, so now I'm going to go into ARPEC's organizational structure. So we have over 13,000 members currently across the state. And so those are divided up into districts for the sake of, kind of more local organizing. And within those 9 districts are a total of 29 chapters. And then we also have 1 chapter that's for all of our out-of-state folks. And so the districts are each represented by a district representative that's elected at our convention every year. And so it's a member. All district reps are members. And in District 9, King County, we actually have 2 district reps just due to the number of members that are in that district. And so I'll explain a little more the process of the district reps. But so each of these chapters that you see here have, a set of officers that are elected by their chapter each year. They host meetings on, some are every month, some are quarterly. It just depends on the chapter. And that's for the sake of, kind of local organizing and getting members together for, that much needed face time for those who, like to participate in things like that. So from your chapter, you'll likely be getting chapter newsletters, which are, combined as an invitation to the next chapter meeting and, kind of activities, events coming up that are going on. And oftentimes that executive director's report will be tied into that as well. So I'll just kind of go over this flow chart of the organizational structure of ARPEC. And so kind of like I outlined before, members, districts, and chapters. And so the biennial convention, like the one that's taking place this upcoming September, the ARPEC Executive Board will be elected there. And so the ARPEC Executive Board is comprised of a statewide president, vice president, treasurer, and secretary, and then the district representatives, as I outlined previously. And so 9 districts, one of them has 2 representatives. That's District 9, the King County District. So that's 10 district reps, and then those 4 officers makes an executive board of 14 people. And so from the executive board, these are all members elected to these positions. Like I said, there's only 5 of us staff members, and we are not part of the actual governing structure of the the chapter structure, the district structure. And so from the executive board are a handful of important committees that kind of run the typical operations for RPEC as a whole. So the first of that is the executive committee. And so the president, vice president, treasurer, and secretary meet with our executive director to address, whatever topics are relevant, have been identified, need to be addressed as a priority. We have a legislative committee that meets and discusses kind of the legislative aspects of what RPEC is doing, any updates, changes, things on the horizon that we're working towards, or have to be preparing to fight against. And so that's all coordinated by members and facilitated, supported by our executive director, Lori Widener. The next committee is the membership committee. And so I am the kind of facilitator and support on the membership committee because I'm the membership coordinator, but that is also led by a membership committee chair with other members that are appointed to that committee. And their purpose and goal is to develop and maintain strategies for member recruitment and retention, and to address membership needs as a whole. The next committee is the finance committee. And so the finance committee is made up of the statewide president, treasurer, and 3 appointed executive board members. And so their purpose is to assess and review our financial standing, our operational budget, what sort of future plans for spending and how to support the organization and its activities financially. And so then coming down to staff, the next person down the chain is the executive director, Lori Widener, who then oversees the other 4 staff members, including myself. And so amongst the staff members, there is myself, the membership coordinator. We have a finance and operations specialist, kind of like, HR, payroll, accountant, all wrapped into one. Her name is Jane Hewitt. We have an associate director, Derek Van Spoor, who is support to Lori as the executive director, but he also is the tech guy of the staff. He actually developed our website all by himself. So he is so crucial to our operations. And he also, manages our server. He manages communications. And last but not least, we have our administrative project coordinator, Alyssa Brady, who coordinates all of our significant activities and any of the day-to-day needs of the office. So she's the one who ends up coordinating legislative day and all of those legislator meetings. She provides support in the organizing for our convention. She's just a rock star at supporting all functions of the organization and taking lead on things such as developing the podcast. She alone has been the person who has started and processed and developed our podcast to what it is right now. And so that's a really exciting addition and something that she's doing a great job on. So we've got a nice little professional team to help support the function of our members and all of our member-led committees and boards. And so just to go into a little more detail about some of the other work groups and committees that fall under the executive board.
Working here.
I briefly talked about the Political Action Committee earlier. And so our Political Action Committee is appointed and made up of members who, meet on a monthly basis during the legislative session to discuss recommendations for endorsements to candidates that directly support our issues. And so when I say directly support our issues, that means the committee looks at literally what it is that we're trying to achieve based on our legislative priorities and only looks for candidates that support those things. Because that is what our members are being a part of this for, is for us to address their retirement security. And so chapters can make recommendations on, or they can vote to make endorsements to their local officials or their representatives, senators in their districts. And then that goes through the Political Action Committee that votes and distributes those funds. Also, the Political Action Committee can make endorsements separate from what the chapters are opting to do. And so we have a political action fund that actually supports those endorsements, and that's where that money comes from. And we've been making waves in the political landscape because of the amount of influence and the amount of direct work we've been able to do with legislators and getting them to sign on to stand in line with us regarding our issues. Okay, and then over on the bottom left, there is the policy review work group. That is a work group that is developed and meets on at least an annual basis to assess different policies and determine if any new policies are needed or any need to be updated. Then we have an ad hoc committee and the strategic plan task force, which are groups that are in place to help the implementation of the strategic plan that we put into motion last year. And so the strategic plan is a guiding document that is going to help us have a plan for the future moving forward to ensure that we're addressing all the needs of the organization, including, membership needs, financial needs, things like that. The last two mentions here are the pension policy work group and the healthcare work group. And so the pension policy work group comes together and works to, develop recommendations to provide to the Select Committee on Pension Policy, which is the committee I mentioned earlier that is made up of legislators that make recommendations to the legislature on pension policy bills. And so we have a group of members that are appointed by the legislative committee that address those topics. And then we also have the healthcare work group, which is appointed by the legislative committee as well, which assesses and addresses the healthcare landscape and regarding, the priorities that we have, the needs of our members, and provides recommendations through our, we have a member who's actually a representative on the Public Employees Benefits Board, which is the group through the Washington State Healthcare Authority that provides a lot of the medical plans to public sector employees and retirees. And so all of these committees and work groups are something that you are more than welcome to sit in on, just to be apprised. And so, attending these meetings doesn't sign you up to any sort of obligation to do anything. It's just opportunities for you to be aware, see what the members are doing to address the challenges that we have. And, they are opportunities for you to actually participate if you choose to do so in the future. We're always looking for people that are, interested and eager to get more involved in all the different aspects of what we do. Okay, so just getting into the benefits of membership with RPEC. So one of those benefits is the communications that you get from your chapter. So your chapter will host, regular chapter meetings that are typically in person. Some chapters have already implemented a, Zoom component to their chapter meetings. And so what that looks like is they'll have a meeting location in person for those who want to attend in person. And then also they have the equipment set up with like a big screen for folks that can't attend in person to jump onto a Zoom call and be able to see the people in the meeting, be able to hear, and be able to speak. If they're called upon or they have something to share, they're able to speak for the people in person, and they can hear them over the Zoom meeting. So it's kind of a newer thing that we're doing, but some chapters have really taken the lead on this and have found a lot of success in offering that hybrid format because it eliminates, barriers to access, especially members being retirees. We have a lot of Rockstar older members that, are aging and aren't able to get out like they used to, or they have health challenges that prevent them from participating at in-person functions like chapter meetings. And so this virtual component is really changing the game and expanding the population that we can serve. Chapters may, reach out to members of their chapter via personal phone calls, or, may send you notes or letters, and may reach out via email as well. And so they also at times do like group emails where, reminders of chapter meetings, or, sending out an invitation to all the members of a chapter. Another form of communication that our chapters provide are what are called robocalls. And so that is an efficient and inexpensive way for the chapter leaders to send out a voice message at a bulk level to all the members of a chapter to inform them of something that's a little more time sensitive and can't wait to go in the mail. It's also often used to remind members of a chapter meeting coming up or some other type of event. And so there's the phone call aspect to it, and it also can send an email out at the same time for those that had an email provided with the phone number. Another function that some chapters are using is a kind of robo-text function as well, where it sends out a text message and not just a phone call. So that's a really valuable communication method. And if you do receive, communication like this, and it sounds like a recorded message from somebody from your chapter, that's what this is. And so, when you get one of those for the first time, you don't recognize the number. You can't help but think that it's spam, but just know that that's something to look out for, and that those are really valuable tools to get in touch with members on a timely basis. And as I kind of briefly mentioned earlier, in regards to the new RPEC website, we have forums on there for members. And so those are something that we're going to be working with chapter leaders to kind of develop discussions to have amongst membership, just kind of have a, safe space to share things about, ideas, issues, in kind of a narrowed setting that is applicable to the folks in your same area, in your same chapter. And so kind of providing an opportunity for collaboration amongst members without it getting completely watered down by it being, a statewide discussion. So, okay, next I'm going to talk about the benefits that we have for our members. And so we are very proud that we can offer a series of member-only benefits to those that are dues-paying members. And so these benefits are, discounts and cost savings on a variety of different services. We don't offer like insurance plans per se directly from RPEC, but some of the benefits we have access to, our members can get discounted insurance plans through these benefits. And so the first is Bright Now Dental. Second is True Hearing. Third is hardship programs. And fourth is what is known as AFSCME Advantage. So I'll talk more about AFSCME Advantage when we get to that slide. First, we've had a long-standing partnership with Bright Now Dental, which has a multitude of locations across the state. And so this is in regards to out-of-pocket expense and the kind of savings that you can get just by being a member with us and being able to say that you're a member with us when you go to seek their services. So just some examples here. The very left column, you can see what the service is, or what the work is that is being done. The second column being what the cost may be at another provider based on what the industry average is. And then the third column being what your cost would be at a Bright Now Dental office instead, if you remember with us. And then fourth is how much money you would save. And so on average, member savings are at about 51%, which is a ton of money, especially when you're paying out of pocket for dental services. So the representative from Bright Now Dental, she works very closely with us. She's really easy to get a hold of. And so it's nice having a close working relationship with somebody who can, connect our members with these services. And oftentimes she'll attend different events. Typically, she's at our convention. Unfortunately, she won't be able to make it this year, but she makes an appearance from time to time, and she's a great person to talk to and get to, ask questions and kind of get a full understanding of what services you have access to. Next is our partnership with True Hearing. And so True Hearing previously was known as Here in America. And so we're actually in the process of getting a exclusive phone number for our members to call for True Hearing services. We're in the process of, modifying our website page for True Hearing because currently it still has the Here in America information on there. The service being provided is going to be nearly identical to what Here in America was providing before. And so the information I have here on the screen is from our Here in America webpage, but not much of this is changing at all. So this still will give you a really good idea of what services you have access to through our partnership with True Hearing. And so some examples are, free annual hearing screenings, getting referrals to local hearing professionals, and then also significant discounts on hearing aids. And they have a handful of different brands or lines of hearing aids at different price points that provide, different features to meet the different needs of members. There's financing available for getting hearing aids because, they're pretty expensive. And thankfully there's that discount, which will save a lot of money, but having the option to pay it off over time really lessens the burden on, trying to pay for it all at one time. There's also a 3-year repair warranty that covers wear and tear on hearing aids. If you have hearing aids that have batteries, you can get more batteries for your hearing aids as well, up to 3 years. You can get a 3-year clean and check service at the participating locations where you received your hearing aids. And they also can offer a one-time replacement of a lost or severely damaged aid for 25% of the original cost. And so those are significant benefits regarding hearing, and the information about, providers in your local area that accept these services can easily be found online. We don't directly have all that information available on the website because there are True Hearing providers all across the state. There's multiple providers that accept the True Hearing benefits in various portions of the state. So if this is something you're interested in, you can actually just look up online, True Hearing providers, and you'll find information in your local area about, different doctors or medical professionals that accept those benefits. Next, through our affiliation with labor, our members have access to different hardship programs. And so one of them is the Washington State Labor Council Foundation for Working Families. This is a fund that they constantly build up to provide assistance to members who experience different hardship or disasters and are in need of assistance. And so that has been, small but helpful to folks that have had losses for different reasons. There's also the AFSCME Fallen Heroes Fund, which is similar in the sense that they also have funding to provide relief and immediate assistance to our members that fall victim to natural disasters or other tragedies. An example is like down in Lewis County, when the Chehalis River flooded, some people's houses were damaged beyond repair, and this program helped people, find a new home and help them build up resources again. Okay, moving on to AFSCME Advantage. So AFSCME, that stands for the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees. And so AFSCME is a national union, and you do not have to be a union member to access these benefits. Because we have an affiliation with them, any of our members have access to these benefits as well. And so there's a variety of different benefits offered through this program. There's education benefits, money and credit, travel and fun, home, health, insurance, auto, and legal. So we'll go ahead and just dive into it real quick here. So healthcare discounts, they have a dental benefit that unfortunately is not available in Washington State, but if you were ever to move out of state, it would be. And that's why we have a partnership with Bright Now Dental. So that's kind of our dental benefit that we offer to supplement for that not being accessible here in Washington. And that's just because there aren't any providers in Washington that participate. We also have a prescription benefit, which is through Optum. So you get an RX discount card. You can check if the price is covered or not covered by insurance, and you can even save up to 80% on your prescriptions. We also have a medical alert monitoring benefit where you can get equipment to help you monitor health. And so that's something that is especially valuable to those with mobility issues or significant health concerns. We also have a vision benefit, which is through VSP Individual Vision. They also have a partnership with Here in America, which is now True Hearing, just like we have a direct partnership with. And so, like I said before, we'll be updating the information for True Hearing on our benefits page. And there is going to be a phone number specifically designated to RPEX members that you can call, and they'll know that it's an RPEC member, so they'll know what your benefits are with them. They'll be able to serve you much more efficiently that way. And so it kind of just makes it easier for members to access that benefit. Aside from that, there's also Union Plus Hearing, which is an additional hearing program. And so there is an opportunity to kind of take advantage of a couple different hearing services. Also, the seventh benefit under our healthcare benefits is a medical bill negotiating service. And so with this service, it's able to be utilized for each individual, medical bill that's accumulated. You're not limited to only doing it, a certain amount of times. It's just one, you can get negotiation help once per medical bill in question. And so that's really helpful, especially with the rising cost for healthcare. Okay, so next is the home benefits. So we have homeowners insurance benefits. We have AT&T discounts, which is, to my knowledge, the only cell phone provider that explicitly provides a union rate. You can get flowers and other gifts at a discount. And then one of the biggest benefits from our home benefits is the mortgage financing options. We have this benefit is partnered with Wells Fargo. And so there's low down payments through this program, 6 months of interest-free loan, and you can get a $500 gift card after refinancing as well. So just some other little incentives to do so. You can also get mortgage assistance through this program, which is extremely valuable. If for some reason, you can't make payment, or something else is going on to where you don't have the funds to pay for your mortgage, you're not gonna, your mortgage will be covered. It's not going to push you out of your home. And so that's something that is a really great benefit that we're happy to be able to offer to members. If you have a disability or other things that prevent you from making your source of income, then that also is included in that. And obviously that's more for active employees that are missing work, but nonetheless, it is extremely beneficial to both retirees and working members. There are also real estate rewards that are associated with these programs as well. And so those are things like the gift card and whatnot that you can get from participating in these. Also, we have a professional moving deal benefit, so provide better rates on moving services. That's through a company called North American. Also, we have a budget truck rental that, if you need to rent a truck for, any sort of, yard maintenance or to transport something or whatever else you may need it for, you can get a lower rate for renting a truck for those purposes. Okay. Also, we have legal help offered to our members. There's a couple of different plans. And so I'll go into a little more detail about that on another slide. Right, moving on here. And so insurance offers. Kind of briefly talked about how we have insurance offers for home insurance. We also have life insurance options through these benefits. And so that's where you can sign up for a life insurance plan where you can pay into, pay small monthly payments into this plan that will support a life insurance fund. Also, we have a renter's insurance benefit for lower rates on insurance for a rental home and your belongings within the home. And then we also can offer our members auto insurance through this benefit. And you can actually get even more discounted rates by bundling up your homeowner's insurance and your auto insurance. We also have accident insurance that is to provide support if you were to get in some kind of an accident and there are expenses involved with that. That would help to kind of lessen the burden of the cost of recovery or replacement or things like that. Also, a nice little benefit is we offer pet health insurance as well. And so that's through the company Pets Best. And so that's for those of us that have had pets, it's amazing how much you can save money by paying for health insurance. I've had pets where I didn't have health insurance, and the financial burden is much more significant than just being able to take advantage of a health insurance plan to ensure that the medical needs of your precious little fur babies are addressed adequately. Next, we'll talk about the auto discounts. And so I've briefly talked about the auto insurance that can be provided from Farmers Insurance. And so that's the home and auto insurance are both through Farmers Insurance, and that's where you can bundle them up and save even more money as well. So that's an excellent benefit that we can offer. Also, you can get discounts on auto buying. So if you need to buy a new car, there's actually a what would it be? Like a catalog of vehicles that are being sold by at union rates to kind of provide a lower cost to our members and other members that have access to these plans. And so that's a huge benefit for anybody who needs a reliable vehicle, but needs to save as much money as possible when acquiring it. Also, you can get discounted rates on car rentals through Avis, Hertz, Budget, Enterprise, Union Plus, which is what these benefits are tied to, has the best rates available for rentals through these companies. You can save up to 35% on the cost of your car rental through this benefit. Next is money and credit benefits. And so Union Plus has a credit card program through Capital One, which allows you to sign up for a credit card. There's a few different offerings through this program. And so for one, a good benefit is that pre-approval does not go against your credit. For two, you can get lower interest rates. You can get other supporting services that tie into this, like credit counseling, for example. You can also get personal loans that are at a better rate through this benefit. And also, you can access services that provide consumer tips for helping you, navigate these, these financial benefits, or just in general, the ins and outs of, credit, interest, things like that. And so that's through Money Management International. They can help connect you with other resources as well that you may need regarding your finances. Okay, going a little bit more into the legal services that you have access to as a member. So our Union Plus legal services, there are two different plans that are through MetLife. One is a free legal plan that provides you with a 30-minute free consultation and a 25% discount on any fees moving forward. And so this is per legal issue. This isn't just one and done. if you take advantage of this benefit one time and then, your issue's resolved, and then you have something else in the future that you're seeking legal advice for, it is absolutely eligible to be passed through this program to get these services again. So it's per legal issue, you have access to this benefit. The second plan is a prepaid legal, where you pay a certain amount monthly to have access to these services. One benefit of this plan too is that twice a year it actually goes on sale and becomes available at $19 a month. And so that's pretty affordable to have unlimited access to legal services to address things like, estate planning or wills or any sort of litigation or civil suits, things like that. Majority of expenses associated with these services are covered by what you pay for that monthly fee. And so if you do end up signing up for the prepaid legal services, you have the benefits of that plan 3 months after you've signed up. So once you've paid 3 months of payments, you have access to those benefits. Next is benefits on travel and fun. And so I already kind of briefly talked about the car rentals. And so that kind of ties into, these kind of vacation discounts and sales, including specific vacation tours that are partnered up with these benefits. And so there are vacation tours all over the world that you can access through this at a discounted rate. There's a travel center, which is a kind of consolidated all-in-one resource that kind of organizes all this different information and is a great repository for kind of exploring what options you have out there. You can get discounted tickets at water and theme parks, discounted movie tickets as well, discounts on tickets to certain concerts and events, and then certain deals regarding restaurants that are partnered up as well. So those are kind of more like the creature comforts, kind of just support, being able to live your best life and have a good time and travel. Okay. And lastly of these benefits is education benefits. And so scholarships and a discounted tuition program. The great thing about this benefit is that your family can access this benefit as well. So if you have, if you have kids or grandkids that are looking to go to college, these are benefits that you can access on their behalf. And so it's a really comprehensive family benefit that may not be useful directly to you, but you may have family that can take advantage of this and help them save money on getting an education. All right, so next is how do you access those AFSCME benefits? So for the Bright Now Dental benefit and for True Hearing, we have a landing page on our website that outlines those benefits and how to access them. For all the benefits through AFSCME Advantage, so through our affiliation with AFSCME, we are identified as AFSCME Retirees Chapter 10. So the Retired Public Employees Council of Washington is the same thing as AFSCME Retirees Chapter 10. And so when you're signing up for these benefits, it'll ask you, what organization are you a part of? And so AFSCME Retirees Chapter 10 will be an option there for you to select. And that's how they can identify that, you're eligible for these benefits. After signing up to be a member with RPEC, you will at some time receive an ID card in the mail from AFSCME that has an AFSCME member number on it, like you can see on the card displayed on this slide here. And so sometimes it takes a little bit longer than others. And so if you're interested in accessing benefits, I recommend that you first just reach out to me directly, because oftentimes, even if you haven't received that card yet, I can access their database to see if a number has been assigned to you at that time. And then that's something I can just share directly to you via email, and that'll give you the eligibility to start accessing those benefits. You can also contact AFSCME Membership Services Hotline, which is at the phone number provided on this slide. They also can send you an ID card. If you haven't received it, you've been a member for a while, they can resend you a new one. Also, if you are more prone to using, like your phone, like apps or texting things, they have a mobile app that you can utilize as well. And so, I'm the point of contact at RPEC for member-only benefits. And so for any of these benefits you want to access, or if you have questions or, are having difficulties, you're more than welcome to reach out to me to get support in accessing these. So that concludes the general overview of, RPEC membership, what we do as a whole. Just kind of to summarize, our core purpose is advocacy and uniting for public sector retirees, protecting Social Security, Medicare, pensions, and then being able to provide additional resources that kind of enrich what you have access to by being a member with us. Being able to provide all these different benefits is something that we're very proud of, and are happy that our members can take advantage of different ways to save money, have access to timely information, and stay updated on what's going on with their retirement. And so if anybody has any immediate questions, I welcome you to ask at this time. Also, you can reach out to me via the email or the phone number on the screen as well at any point in time. Anytime after this meeting as well. And then the member-only benefits can be accessed through this link or just going directly to our website. And I will be sure to send these slides to everybody here. So let me check the chat here. Oh, yes. Alyssa typed in the chat that some of the other materials that we provide regarding legislative opportunities is templates for letters and emails that members may want to send to their legislators. So we provide a lot of kind of scripted information that folks can use as a baseline for any of their communications with their elected officials. So thanks for that, Alyssa. Okay, Valerie in the chat asked, do you have to have a dental plan? Then this will be supplemental for dental. So no, actually, the Bright Now Dental insurance benefit is actually to help support you when you have out-of-pocket expenses. So you do not have to have a dental plan. That'll actually help you most if you don't. If you're having to pay out of pocket, this benefit will seriously help cut back your costs. Good question. All right. Let me just check here if anybody's got their hands up. Any other questions from folks, or it doesn't have to relate to anything necessarily on the presentation, just any questions that you might have about RPEC or your membership. All right. Well, like I said, if you have questions, moving forward, feel free to reach out to me. I can help you access benefits. I can help you access an account on the website. And so I will actually briefly, show you how to access the RPEC website as well. So our website is rpeclaw.org. Let's see. There we go. All right, can you all see that? Okay. So this is our new website. Also, we do have a webinar about how to access the new website, kind of its layout and where the different resources and content is located. And so I encourage you to go ahead and get signed up right here through, so you go to member area, my account, register new account. And so once you do so, you put in your information here and submit that. We'll get notified that somebody's signed up on the website to register for an online account, and then we can approve it right there. And so after that, you would just need to go to member area, my account, member login, And so once you're logged in, you'll immediately notice that there's much more content available for you to access once you've got that set up and are logged into your account. So we'll just give that a sec here. All right. And so like under digital content, previously there was only 2 menu options here. Now there's multiple. And so here's all of our different media you can access, including webinar recordings, any leadership calls we've done in the past to help provide tips and insight on different ways to interact at the leadership level, our podcasts, and then any other videos that we've recorded, including like committee meetings and things like that. So you can also find information about your chapter, including your chapter's newsletters on here. And then there's also like the member-only benefits, as I just was outlining to you in the presentation. So we got Right Now Dental here in America, which is being updated to True Hearing. And then here's the college benefit. And then here are all the different Ask Me Advantage benefits here as well. And the hardship assistance programs. So all of these benefits that I just went over, you can check them out. You just got to get onto the website and set yourself up an account. And then you can click through these and explore them and figure out if any of these are going to be useful to you or you would like to access now. And like I said, any questions that you have about these things, you can always reach out to me. You can also explore the calendar on our website, which has information about, chapter meetings that are coming up, and it has the information about where the meeting's being held. If there's a virtual component, you'll find like the Zoom link there. And then also, for example, we're doing one of our yearly speaker series webinars where we have a congressional legislator for Washington, Adam Smith, who is going to be a guest speaker at a Zoom meeting that all RPEC members are invited to. And so I highly encourage you to sign up for this just to, kind of be there as a representative of your district or of your legislative district and support Adam Smith, who has voiced and shown his support for Medicare, Social Security, and pensions. Otherwise, there's a lot more information you can access on here. I encourage you to, go ahead and set up that account and start exploring, and you can always reach out with any questions you have. All right. Oh, go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, Jacob, I put something in the chat.
Thank you.
I get this question a lot. So could you show us this?
Absolutely, yeah. So for accessing your chapter newsletter, you would go to the member area tab and then chapter newsletters. And so this web page has a copy of each newsletter for each chapter being the most recent newsletter. So in Bill's case, being chapter 35, King County Metro, you click on that and it generates the newsletter that was most recently produced and uploaded to the website. And so you can always refer back to this if, if you aren't receiving a physical newsletter or you maybe misplaced it or kind of just need a quick review of the content, you can always access it on the website. Also, while I'm at it, let's see here. If you go to digital content and council, you can actually see the council quarterly newsletter on here as well. And that has every edition that we've had. And so the most recent being the summer edition. So if you, if you joined after maybe these were sent out to members and you didn't receive this newsletter, you can still go and view it on the website and, click through that and see the content and kind of get an idea of what that looks like. And so you'll see these on a quarterly basis. And in the summertime, we do a primary election endorsements breakdown from our political action committee. So there's a lot of good information that you can access on the website. And I highly encourage you to explore that and see, what is of use to you on there. Any other questions? All right. One last check of the chat. So yeah, just a full disclaimer, on August 2nd is our next legislative update call, which we do on a monthly basis outside of the legislative session, and then on a weekly basis during session. But at that update call, it'll be shared information for the latest on what's happening in the legislature that affects our members and public sector retirees as a whole. So I highly encourage you to attend that and stay apprised about that information that's relevant to you. Thank you for that, Alyssa. Okay. Well, just know that you can reach out to me if you have questions or are trying to access stuff on the website. I'm more than happy to help. So thank you all for attending today, and I look forward to working with you as a member of RPEC.
Thanks, everybody. Welcome. I'm excited to have you. See you next time.
Thanks for coming, you old codger. Always appreciate seeing you, Bill.
Thanks, Jacob.
Yeah, Martin. Good to see you all. Thank you for coming.